back to Coffee and Chaos. I'm Alina, your host, and today we're doing something a little different. Hi, Trina.
Hi.
Solomon.
Hi.
We are going to be reporting some informational news. Trina says it's a little sad, though. But, well, some of it is sad. The first thing we're going to start off is very sad, and then get into some other stuff. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, all the Halloween stuff. I asked her to wear a Halloween shirt. She said no.
I'm just a scaredy cat. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say I like Jesus.
I do. I love Jesus. I was going to say your harvest decorations.
It's Halloween time. I like that the kids get to just dress up and have fun with it. I don't get into the
Okay, see, I like that you said that because for the kids, but then there's the adults that, I don't know, just use it to however you want to use it.
Well, on TikTok, I do like that video where Freddie and Michael Myers and who's the other one? And it says, there's some whores
Chucky.
In this house. There's some whores. I sent you a picture of the shirt. Okay.
Well, I guess I had to pick one. So
who did you pick?
I actually forgot, but because I don't like scary.
Oh, you did it, and you said that in the text message.
But I did pick one. I don't remember.
I picked Freddie from St. Elmo's Fire. St. Elmo's Fire. Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. You know what? Too much sugar and too much caffeine before we started this. Solomon, it's your fault. That's all I'm going to say.
I will just tell the audience that, they're just getting the first 2 minutes. This has been going on for the last hour.
It has been.
Denied.
Oh. All right. Okay. So the first one is actually not funny at all, and it's very serious, and we've touched on it quite a bit now because of Genie. But Genie's still missing since July 15th, San Antonio, Texas. I went and saw her mom this week, and we caught up a little bit more. And I was telling her that I went online and I started to go down what is it when you go down the rabbit hole of the whole missing persons? And there's really the missing persons that I've dug into prior to Genie. It's always been the indigenous women, the Native women, the Hispanic women. And, we always hear about if there's a Caucasian girl missing, the whole red alert for the United States is out looking for her, right? But as I look deeper into this, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Database, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 44 unidentified bodies are recovered each year. Nationwide, there are roughly 6.5 missing persons for every 100,000 people.
Wait, you said 44, but it's actually 4,400?
Did I say 44?
Yeah, but that's
crazy. No,
that's
4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered. And the crazy part is, first of all, let me say this. California is the number one missing persons. Then Texas, then Florida, Alaska, which I thought Alaska would be higher up, but obviously.
I did too.
Why?
Because there are a lot of indigenous people there.
Oh.
But is it because Alaska's not as big as California? So there's more people missing because there's a bigger number?
Yeah. Volume. Yeah.
Yeah. So it goes California, Texas, Florida, Alaska, New York, Arizona, and then it goes down. Rhode Island only has 28, but that's because Rhode Island is such a small state too, But the crazy part is missing persons are persons whose current whereabouts are unknown by family, friends, employers, etc. Unidentified persons are deceased individuals who are unknown. Unclaimed persons are deceased individuals whose identities are known, but for whom no next of kin have been located to accept delivery of their personal remains. That's how the national database goes by. And as I was reading that, I was like, so if you went missing and nobody identified you, you're just a Jane Doe or a John Doe that's just buried and forgotten about, like you were nobody. And it's really sad that I feel like going off of this and reading everything I read into that, you look at the borders of Texas and Mexico, Arizona and Mexico. There has to be so many more people missing that are just unaccounted for all over.
Right.
One, are they here illegally? So they're not even accounted for as being here like through a social security card, through a driver's license, right? And now they're missing. People that are trying to come over and trying to come to work and do all that stuff, and they're getting killed. There has to be thousands and thousands of bodies buried across all those borders. And the drugs obviously don't help, right? Around all those borders, the sex trafficking, the human trafficking, the child trafficking, all of it is like, I went down a rabbit hole between YouTube, Google, TikTok, and it is really sad.
It's kind of scary though, like how they have all of those missing persons boards. Like I know when I'm in Arizona and they have I see more boards there of the missing people in stores that you go to. And then sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, have I seen that? Like, because there's so much like social media, everything and I'm like, have I seen that person before? Like, it's kind of scary at the thought of like, or even when they make it to where this is what they looked like then and this is what they might look like now.
Oh, what is it called where they do the facial structures as the age process thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crazy part is like when a lot for softball and then it went into baseball. When you leave California and you go to these other states, even years ago, you walk in the bathroom at airports, hotels, restaurants, and you sit down on the toilet and that door closes and it says, if you're being trafficked, no, that's not a word. How do you say the word? If you're trafficked and you need help, here's a number. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, that's odd. Like, we don't think about those things in California. But then to see the number of people missing in California, I was like, oh my gosh, that's really scary.
So those unidentified bodies, because I don't watch the news. But the ones that you had read about, because they can't find like the next of kin, they just bury them like in a specific, like did it say like where they bury them in a specific area?
I'm sure every state has either they're cremated or they have some type of cemetery where they bury I have a friend at work who went looking for his dad recently. He hadn't talked to his dad in 10 years and him and his mom was like, oh, let me go look for him and see what's going on. He passed away. And the guy owned a house, had money. And so now the son and the ex-wife are like, he had no family. So where did all this stuff go? Why did nobody notify the next of kin that he had passed away? So now they're digging into it to find out like where everything is. When did he pass away? How did he pass away? Like all of that. But so with Genie still missing, Annie believes and we're hoping, praying that what is this? Elect to bury. Some counties elect to bury unclaimed bodies. Typically, the body is buried in an unmarked grave that is county owned. If a family member later comes forward, the body may be exhumed upon request. Other states allow for unclaimed bodies to be donated for medical services, medical science.
So wait,
wow.
You know what's crazy though, and this is so sad. I'm like reading that part where it says that the family can request to have their
exhumed,
right? They would probably charge them, right? They charge people for everything.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah,
they're not going to do it for free.
But I didn't ask you to bury them.
Well, they just figure you're going to be paying for the burial anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure
that's the whole reason you'd exhume them.
And then, if you exhume them and you're going to move them, you got to pay for that.
Yeah, no.
To move them to your own cemetery wherever you're going.
Yeah.
That's because I know when my grandpa passed away, he passed away unfortunately in Colorado, and it would have been a pain in the butt to get him here because you have to go through his doctors to call Colorado to explain that he died of natural causes and all this stuff. My daughter's grandma worked at Kaiser and she was able to speed up the process. Thank God, and it helped. But even that, getting him here, it was not the easiest thing to do. Yeah. So you definitely hope that when you do pass, it's somewhere close to home. But when I talked to Annie this week about Genie, and she has so much hope that she's still alive and that she's out there somewhere. So Genie, if you are listening or watching somehow, some way, or somebody, call your mom, Facebook, Instagram.
Call anybody.
Being gone this long, the person of interest and his mother, they know exactly what happened, where she's at, or if she got away, and there's a chance that she did get away and she's just so lost and confused and doesn't know what's going on, which is just as bad because she's out there with absolutely no help. And and the sad part is when we spread the picture, like she was a beautiful girl, and she doesn't look the same, right? So you're going to now put a picture out there and people don't know that's what she looks like because she doesn't look dolled up and gorgeous. So people probably see this picture and have seen her maybe, but don't realize that that's her. Yeah, and we don't have really a more updated picture, I guess you would say.
Yeah. I think, well, that's why also it's good to use social media, and that the mom did start the Facebook page, Justice for Genie. So there's a lot of pictures on there. I feel like leading up to maybe the most recent picture.
There's also a lot of weirdos, though, that have come out on since. So she did start the Facebook page, Justice for Genie. There's a lot of weirdos that have come on there and wrote stuff and saying things. And it's like, you just get people that, I don't know. It was weird. Like one person even wrote that they specifically told that guy, Jonathan, to take her back. And we like Googled into it and got all crazy down the rabbit hole. And that lady's from Arizona, doesn't even know it. Like, it was just weird. Like and it's heartbreaking because any lead you think you have, you want to follow, right?
Yeah.
And most of them are just leading to absolutely nowhere. So she's not giving up hope. We're not giving up hope. We hope and pray. But as I was reading all this and getting into it, I had no clue how many people are missing. And half of them are probably by family members. They always say, it's usually somebody you know. But I'm definitely like having the younger ones with Emery and Gia in the front of the house, like, the gate's closed now for sure. I've done that. We let the dogs out because you come by our house and the dogs don't know you. They're going crazy to alert us. So just please be careful, everybody. Definitely, please spread the word for Genie. We're not going to forget about her. We're not going to let you guys forget about her. I really apologize if you guys feel like you're bombarded and overwhelmed with me constantly talking about her. Right. But this is a dear friend's daughter, and we just don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up at all.
If it was your family member, we'd do the same.
No, and she really believes that the mom knows something. And I mean, we all protect our kids. We all love our kids, right? But for me, that's something that.
Yeah, but no, we talked about it before. Right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah, that is not something that I would be protecting. Not the harm of an Somebody innocent else. Girl. Yeah, no. She needs to come home to her daughter. So that's, yeah. Okay. So the next thing, which was kind of crazy. On Thursday, the 26th, where we live in San Pedro, California, we are a port town. There's terminals in San Pedro, but then we have to cross over the bridge
to Long Beach
to get into the terminals that we work at. And we are the busiest, largest port. And we had an overturned trucker. The crazy part is everyone's like, oh, a trucker turned over. The bridges are down. And I'm like, oh, not a big deal, right? Like the truckers, it's a lithium battery that was on fire. And I instantly was like, how does a battery catch fire?
Yeah.
Not realizing, all the gases inside of it and it exploded, whatever. And a few nights before that, I was at work and I saw these cans. They're just starting to come in through our ports. And they're not very structured properly in the sense of like when they come off the ships, I feel like we should have them in a certain area so we know that that's where it's all at. That's dangerous, hazardous cargo. No, they're just all over the terminal.
But was that the first one that's turned over? Like
that caught fire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, not caught fire. That turned over. Like
that we know of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was coming around and it's like kind of a sharp turn and so his whole truck leaned over and just fell over, right? It toppled over.
Where was he going?
He was leaving one of the terminals on Terminal Island.
Oh, leaving, not
he was
going on.
No, he was leaving one and he was going towards Long Beach. So if you're on Navy Way and you come off of the Vincent Thomas Bridge and you're on Terminal Island, let's make this known. There's only 3 ways on or off Terminal Island, and they're all bridges. 3 of them. There's the Vincent Thomas Bridge. There's the bridge that we used to say that goes up and down, which is the Desmond Bridge. And then there's the bridge into Long Beach, which is the Gerald Ford Bridge.
The new one.
Yeah, the new one.
Okay.
But I think it's called something else now, too. It's not even... Ooh, what was that?
Let's not worry about that.
Oh.
Mind your business.
I'm minding my business. Yeah, the new one is called... What is the new bridge called? Now I'm all thrown off. I'm all totally... My bad, people. Sorry. The new bridge is it's called...
The Desmond Bridge.
No, it's called it's the Long Beach International Gateway.
What?
Oh, that was the Henry Ford Bridge. I lied. The bridge that goes up and down was the Henry Ford Bridge, and now it's called the Long Beach International Gateway Bridge. The Desmond Bridge that goes into Long Beach
Okay, that's the new one.
it's the new one, and in my eyes, that's still the bridge that goes into Long Beach. I don't call it
The bridge that goes into Long Beach.
Yes,
That's the official name?
That's the
All-
official
all
name.
caps?
So like well, for me and my friends growing up in San Pedro, there's the Vincent Thomas Bridge, which is the bridge that leaves from San Pedro that goes directly onto Terminal Island. Once you're on Terminal Island, you can keep going into Long Beach, which that bridge takes you into Long Beach. If you hook a left halfway through, that's the bridge that we used to say that goes up and down. And that's the one that's the
Yeah, that
Henry
bridge was
Ford Bridge.
cool because the train tracks went up and down too.
Yes, but now that one's even replaced and there's a new bridge now too. So that's just a bridge. It no longer goes up and down.
Right.
Well, that
So-
was a headache.
Yeah. When the truck overturned, I didn't think anything about it. I was just like, no big deal. It overturned. I'm going home. Because
Were you in the traffic that was?
So the day that it happened, I was at work and the guys were like, oh, go ahead. You can leave. And it was like in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, not thinking. I had no idea there was an accident. The guys didn't tell me an accident. I literally felt like I was the guinea pig. Like, let's see if Alina can get home.
Oh, that's why they were like, you go.
Yeah, they totally did. So
Oh.
as I get in my car thinking, yeah, I'm going home, right? And I come around and there's like all this traffic and I'm like, what's going on? Well, then my phone starts going off. Like, are you okay? We heard there's an explosion on the bridge. Where are you at? So I text the guys and I'm like, thanks a lot. Nobody told me like, oh, we didn't find out till right when you left. Bull
Well,
crap.
they couldn't call you?
No, they just let me leave to see how bad it was going to be. And then they knew I was going to call them and yell at them.
Are those your friends?
No, they're not my friends. So I caught like right before it got bad, I was able to get off the bridge, able to get home.
Well, thank God.
But there were some people stuck there. Now, mind you, this happened at 10:30 in the morning.
That's like
Some people
peak.
were stuck there all day. Like it took hours for the truckers and all them because Vincent Thomas Bridge, then the other two bridges, when you're on Terminal Island, there's 3 ways on and 3 ways off, and they're all bridges.
Was the driver okay?
Probably.
So the driver got out and he was fine. And then the tow truck came, and to assess it, they had a drone. And so the drone was on top of it, videotaping it as it exploded.
Why is there the gap between? Oh,
It-
is that why there's the gap between
No,
the bed? Okay.
No, it was sitting in the middle.
That's
like
the
that.
chassis. So
Yeah.
that's where they could put a 40-foot container
Yeah.
on there if they wanted to, or they put the 20.
No, but I mean, like, okay, because it belongs in the back, not in the front. Okay.
Yes.
Or in the middle, where it is.
But see that white thing on the ground? They just have a tarp on it. Like, I'm not sure what the tarp is supposed to do. If it's supposed to protect
hide it?
people, or like it's not an invisible force. I don't know. That's all it is a tarp on top of it. So
Where does it come from? Where did it come from?
Where does everything get imported into the United States?
Mhm.
If they were literally to attack us, and you attacked
Who's they?
ports in LA, well, people that don't like the United States, you would attack our port, the Gulf in Texas, and back east, we would be screwed. We import 90% of absolutely everything Americans use and have. We would be screwed. So that little trucker that, thank God nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
And I was really worried more about the firemen that had to go, because eventually they had to drag it out. What if it exploded, you
Okay.
know?
And the only reason why that it set fire or exploded was because it fell.
Tipped over, yes. So it tipped over, and I guess it got so hot and the gas is in there and it busted and it, whoo.
So there's 3 things they were worried about there. And one, obviously, is the
The air.
explosion.
Right.
Mhm.
And then the other one is just like the noxious fumes, things like that. And then the third is probably the structural integrity of the bridge, being the fire was so hot, which is probably why it took so long.
So the rumors, not negative rumors, not bad rumors. People were calling everybody to say, like, are you okay? Where are you at? What's going? Because nobody knew the actual destination of where it was at. So then later to find out it wasn't even near the Vincent Thomas Bridge. It was more towards the Gerald and Desmond Bridge, but they blocked everything off because they didn't know, like Solomon said, how bad the explosion was going to be. But as this was happening that day, and then they shut down the ports for like a day and a half,
Yeah.
I was talking to a few friends, one in particular, and he wasn't raised in San Pedro or down here at all. And he says when he first started working down here, he would think about like, what if we ever got stuck on the bridge? Like I'm Terminal Island. I'm sorry. How would I get off? What do you do? I think me being from where I live and you from there too, that's never really a thought. Like I don't think about getting stuck on Terminal Island, whereas people who didn't grow up there, it's a thought. It gives them anxiety. Like, hey, what would I do? How would I get off? How long would we be stuck here? Do we have water? Because there's only 3 ways on and off, and they're all bridges.
Well, you could swim.
Well, you could, but the crazy part is when I think about swimming from right at the beginning of Terminal Island, so it'd be like where Everport Services is, or AKA Evergreen,
Mhm.
right where the Vincent Thomas Bridge is, and swim across to San Pedro. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. However, I know somebody who used to do it. My 92-year-old grandma that I take care of, her and her friends used to swim back and forth. What the hell?
That's why she's so strong.
That's why that lady ain't go nowhere.
Swam from Terminal Island to San Pedro.
Yes.
So basically like port to call.
Yes. So our history is that was Terminal Island, and I feel like it's just a port town, right? It's all ports. It's all that. The canneries were there.
3 bridges. That's it. Yeah.
It's 3 bridges on and off. You're surrounded all by water. But Terminal Island people used to live there.
I know.
So my grandpa's
There's a
parents-
prison there.
Yeah, I was gonna
There's
say,
a-
didn't they used to have?
There's a prison there.
Oh, there still is.
Oh, it's a federal prison.
Yeah, my cousin's dad, her dad used to work in that prison, and I spent the night at her house a few times, and we'd wake up and there's like people, mowing the lawn or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's their gardener or whatever. And it's like actual prisoners. And I'm like,
Is that when your bad boy fetish started?
there's a,
Sorry.
don't expose me like that.
Like I fell in love with the prisoner when I was like 8.
No, I just was like, what in the world? They literally let these prisoners just roam around.
Because it's a federal prison. They didn't do anything crazy. They just like
I don't know that.
What is it? White collar workers.
White collar crime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so,
Yeah.
oh no. But anywho,
Like
they were
insurance
in there.
fraud, money
They were
laundering.
in there. Okay, well,
Nothing, But people used to live there. I have a picture of it of my grandpa Rudy. His parents were married on Terminal Island, and
at the prison.
I don't think at the
Kidding.
prison, but
I'm just
and
kidding.
the funny thing is, I have a picture. Solomon's going to pull it up, and when he does, there's 2 little. Oh, well, you can leave that picture up. You want me to explain that one real quick?
Oh, this is not it. Oh, the other one.
Yeah. So this
Well,
picture
do that one.
is before there was a bridge, there was a ferry, which I feel like I don't know why they ever got rid of the ferry, because look what happened this last week with the whole
Right.
trucker turning over.
Yeah.
But if you look at the picture down at the bottom, the man wearing a hat and a tie is my great grandpa. He used to drive the ferry back and forth before the bridge was there. And so this is a drawing of the actual picture that's hanging up at the Maritime Museum. in
Are those
San Pedro.
tiles, or are we looking at it from a fence, from outside of a fence?
No, it's a picture that's inside the museum.
That somebody, yeah. So I don't know. That's a good question. I see
Yeah,
what you're
like-
saying.
Yeah, I'm like, if the picture's made of tiles, or if the artist drew those in.
No,
as a fence.
there's an actual picture that's hanging in there.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
probably looking at it from a fence
Yeah.
then.
So that is would be my great grandpa
On the ferry?
on the ferry down at the bottom with the hat and the tie on.
He doesn't look like he's driving though.
No, that one he's not, but he would drive. But it doesn't even look like there's anyone up in the driving part up at top.
I see something white up there. I don't know.
So he would do, and he's the one that got married on Terminal Island. So my grandpa lived on Terminal Island. Oh, there it is. But I just wanted to know who the 2
Wait,
little.
that's Terminal Island, or is
That's
that
Terminal-
Mexican Hollywood?
That's no, that's Terminal Island.
No, you know what I'm talking about? There's Mexican Hollywood, that area right there under the bridge.
No,
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I
that's-
haven't either.
Well, there's a Facebook page also. That was an actual neighborhood because my mother-in-law did an interview on it because she was raised on, and that kind of looks like the air. Maybe that's what they called it.
Oh, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 little angry girls in that picture. That's for sure. That's a little scary. But
Who are they?
So they're cousins of my grandpa. So those are my grandpa's parents.
My goodness.
Yeah. My grandpa, well, it would be my great grandpa Andrew and my grandma. My mom's going to kill me. I never say her name correctly. I know. It's a total like, oh, she's gonna kill me. Well, those are my great grandparents.
Please forgive her, Mom.
I know. Please forgive me. So they were married there. My grandpa was born on Terminal Island. They even had the Japanese. What did we say? We talked about it. What did we call it?
Internment.
Yeah, but there was a refugee camp. I like that term
refugee.
better. The other one was, yeah, they had that on there too.
She said, "I like that one better."
I was like, well, the other is more accurate.
I know.
They were
It just so bad.
Yeah, but that was the word that she had, discussed earlier.
Yeah, it was just. It sounds like, because I was in the car, I was like, like the concentration camps, and I was like, oh, that sounds so.
Well, refugee implies that they were saved from.
Well,
something.
if I'm
they were
correct,
given refuge.
They rounded them all up and they put them there. They weren't necessarily prisoners.
No, it was an internment camp. Yeah. They were interred.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a lot of things on there before it became just this working port.
Hmm.
Now Terminal Island is just this working port, right? It had the canneries there before. My grandma in high school would take the ferry with her best friend Becky Cano, and they would go work in the canneries for money, to buy their prom dresses and all the extra activities. By the time they got off the ferry at midnight at night, they'd have to walk in the dark because there was no street lights back then. It was the dirt on the ground, everything. Becky lived before my grandma, so my grandma would say goodbye to Becky, and then my grandma would tell me she would run home, and it was probably a little bit under half a mile or something, in the pitch dark at night, scared by herself. And then she'd wake up in the morning and walk right to Becky's house, and then they'd walk to school. And this was just their way of life.
Yeah.
And now we have this bridge. Well, now they want to shut down the Vincent Thomas Bridge to redo it. And they're debating if they should shut down both sides or just one side.
Redo it because the structure needs to be
Updated.
Does it? I
mean,
know. I was always scared to even go on the new bridge.
Really?
Yeah, because how long has the Vincent Thomas Bridge been there? For forever, right? Why can't they just leave well enough alone?
Well, the new bridge doesn't replace Vincent Thomas.
No. I'm saying I was afraid to even go on that new bridge because it was,
Because it was new.
Yeah, because it was new.
Okay.
I have trust issues, remember?
Yeah, but it's based on bridge designs that they've used everywhere from Boston. Boston has that same kind of bridge.
Oh.
So, I mean, the technology is just way better.
Now,
yeah.
Well, when they were going to make the Vincent Thomas Bridge originally, the man that was doing it, they were laughing at him and they were saying it was going to be the bridge to nowhere. Like they couldn't even fathom it back then. And I'm like, the bridge to nowhere, that's the bridge
to San Pedro?
Yeah.
Because we're the end of the freeway.
Oh, I thought they meant that we
The bridge
wouldn't,
to
that
nowhere,
we would, like the bridge to nowhere, meaning we would never leave because we don't leave Pedro. And you looked at it the other way, that we are the bridge to nowhere. Huh.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking. Because we don't leave Pedro. Like Solomon laughs at us.
We're leaving Pedro, though.
We left Pedro today.
Yeah, you got a day pass.
Yeah, we did. So I don't know how they're going to close down both sides to redo that bridge. I literally just go over the bridge and then hook a right, and I'm right there on Terminal Island.
You work on Terminal Island?
Yeah, I work on Terminal Island.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So it literally in the morning, it takes me, well, it depends on.
So that's what the issue
10 minutes to get to work.
That's what the issue is going to be for most people is it's an inconvenience that now you have to get up earlier and take a different route, but you're still going to be able to get to work.
I am people.
Yeah.
I like to have to drive all the way around.
But you get to your job.
Because I'm true, but I have to leave Pedro, go through Wilmington, almost a little bit into Long Beach to just come all the way back around to get on another bridge to come back onto Terminal Island.
But you get to go to your job.
But I have to wake up 10 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier to go to this job.
Maybe
Thank
they'll give
God.
maybe they'll give you a ferry or
I
something.
think
These people don't need a ferry.
I'm going to tell your husband. I think that we
He will not get on a ferry. He will go all the way around. Maybe just get on a motorcycle. You want to go on the Harley and just ride it. You'll get there faster.
I'll probably kill myself, but I'll be there faster.
No, you could be a passenger princess.
Passenger princess. I think that we do need a ferry because let's be real. What if something? Okay, let me get into the next topic, which will bleed into all of what we're saying. The other topic we were talking about is the Hurricane Helene. Why are you? It's such a sad topic, and she's
No, I'm not laughing
'Cause we
at
didn't know how to
that.
say it.
The pronunciation, I was like, is it Helene or Helen or
Yeah. Then we went on TikTok
Helene.
and we found out it was Helene.
Thank you, TikTok.
Thank you very much. So, you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
I'll read it.
You can read it.
Although I don't watch the news because everything is so sad, but I'm just tugging along here. Climbing death toll, at least 143 people have died across 6 states, and officials fear the death toll could rise following Hurricane Helene. Many more remain missing, perhaps unable to leave their location or unable to contact family where communications infrastructure is in shreds. Power and infrastructure outages. Hundreds of roads remain closed, especially in the Carolinas, hampering the delivery of badly needed supplies. Some areas are so inaccessible, supplies are being delivered by mules and by air, and people are hiking hours to try to help loved ones. More than 1.5 million customers remain without power, according to poweroutage.us. The death toll from Helene has risen to at least 143 across 6 states, according to CNN's tally. CNN. Here's the breakdown of deaths by state.
I didn't go on TikTok for that. Sorry.
North Carolina, 56 people. South Carolina, 36 people. Georgia, 25 people. Florida, 15 people. Tennessee, 9 people. Virginia, 2 people. What was that?
What was what?
Breakdown of deaths by state. My bad. I'm like slow.
You're reading it. You weren't comprehending it.
It's
No,
amazing.
It takes me a
though,
minute. I know.
that we can lose people to natural disasters like that in this day and age.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I bet it's just a lot of people. I'm not leaving my house type thing.
no. Well, put on the video. It's crazy. They weren't even prepared for it.
Well, let's see if this video will play here.
If not, we could go over. But
Let's see.
People get it. What's happening in Western North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia is not the same thing as a hurricane hitting Florida. This is in the freaking mountains. They had no warning. They had no idea this was going to happen. None. They need air support. There are people that are missing. They can't get in touch with their family. They have no way of communicating with anyone. They have no electricity. They have no food, water, any way of telling anyone where they are. No, nothing. And they don't have any way to fix it because the roads are washed out and there's no way in or out. People are just stuck. And this happened quickly with no warning. This is in the mountains of Appalachia. Like, there's not hurricane warnings don't affect them. I mean, this is crazy. A lot of people went to sleep and a dam broke a few cities away, and then that led to another dam breaking and another dam breaking, and then next thing you know, their house is washing down the side of the mountain. When you live on the mountain, the only thing you got to worry about is if there's like tons and tons of rain for weeks and weeks at a time, then you might have to worry about a mudslide. But never in their wildest dreams did they expect this. There was no warnings. There was no anything. This just happened. People were trapped in their homes with flash flooding. And there's still so many people that are making videos that saying, please help me find my family. Please let me know if they're okay. And I mean, why isn't the government there helping them? Like, they need air support. I mean, before people can even get in to help, they have to have a way to get in.
there was a couple that walked like 14 or 15 miles. And I think that's why when I was researching that and here, like, are any of us prepared for like anything? Like, working on Terminal Island, I don't have anything in my car if I was to get stuck there for a few days. I don't have water. I don't have extra clothes. I don't have any food. Like, and here, they were not prepared for it at all. It was so unexpected. And walking 14 or 15 miles after all of this to get to where are you walking to hope that you find somebody or something. Like, it is really that this incident has scared me or gave me anxiety about working on Terminal Island now.
So then it kind of like opened up your like eyes, or like kind of had you thinking like, what would you do?
Yeah, like if we...
Well, because no one will ever be prepared for something like that.
No, but if there is another explosion and we're stuck there, what if there is any type of natural disaster where we are working, right? Like, and we are stuck there for days. Like, if you don't have electricity, you don't have a way to reaching your loved ones, whatever food or water is on that island, like, how long is that to last for? You know, it's for me, when I was going through it all, I was like, oh, I take it for granted that I live 5 minutes from home, that I fly over the bridge in 2 seconds. I fly back in 2 seconds. At lunchtime, we leave and we go back over the bridge to grab lunch back into San Pedro. sometimes Long Beach, but it's a little further. So we just drive back to, Pedro, come right back. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not that we take it for granted in a negative way. We just become complacent because we do it every day. I grew up on it. Gina, the one that does the podcast here with us,
Yeah.
she used to be afraid. She wouldn't even drive the bridge. And I'd be like, girl, get in the car. Let's go. Because my 92-year-old grandma, the one I take care of now, was like that with us. Like, get in the car. We're going here. We're going there. Nothing stopped her. And maybe because she saw, they swam across it. They had the ferries. And then she
Mhm.
saw them building the bridge. She grew up with it. So to her, there was no fear. There was nothing
Well,
she couldn't do.
Well, yeah, because if you live in fear, you're not going to go anywhere.
And so Gina wouldn't do it until she started to work in the port. Then she had to drive the bridge. But that's why when we got the call about the truck, the first person I called was her because I knew she was working on Terminal Island and I knew she'd be panicking, leaving home. And she's like, we're still working. I hope, when it's all, by the time I'm off, it'll be done.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. It took her a while to get home.
So not to speak for all of the terminals, but like, so are you guys doing something differently now there? Like,
I hope that they are. I mean, that comes with the officials and with PMA and all of that stuff. But finding out like how, even in the hurricane here, they're
Mhm.
saying that the cars that are all run off batteries, they all exploded. The houses were catching fire.
oh, yeah.
So they want us to go all electrical with cars. Like, what? No. Like, that is no. So I hope that we're going to do something different on the port because, like I said, when I was at work the other day, and these batteries, they're just all over in random areas in the yard. They're not solidified into one area.
I'm like looking at this like because I don't watch the news. My husband says I need to watch the news. I'm never going to know what's going on in the world.
We're going to count how many times you say that, by the way.
What?
I don't watch the news.
I don't.
Well, I went around yesterday asking all the guys, because, we work with 90% men. What's and I didn't give them any backstory. Just, hey, natural disaster. What's the first thing you're grabbing? One guy said water. Next guy's gun. I'm like, why are you getting your gun? You're going to go. He's like,
people are going to start tripping.
He's like, because then I can go get whatever I want. I was like, you're a bully. The other guys were like, water. And everyone's like, what would you get? I said two things. I said, first, a good pair of shoes. Because
You're going to be walking.
yeah. And two, at first I said, well, strong man. And they're like, why? And I was like, I said, no, I don't want a strong man. I want a smart man. I said, I'm getting the nerdiest guy here because he's going to be able to somehow figure out water, food, everything.
So even during the natural disaster or the something blowing up or whatever, being stuck on Terminal Island, you're thinking of a strong man, but no, a smart man.
Because first of all, I'm not dumb, right?
Well, we know that.
But however, I would be the person like, oh, let's go over there. No, there's batteries over there that are going to burn up, girl. We can't go in that direction. Oh, okay, let's not go in that direction. Like, I would need somebody who's like gonna, like, I could do what you need me to do, and I'm pretty strong. I could try to move something, but you need to tell me what to do.
I don't see you staying on Terminal Island. You would get in the water and swim like your grandma.
I think I would do that. And then halfway through, I'd be like all out of breath, unless my adrenaline's just taking me all the way.
Well, don't forget there are ferries that go to and from there. So they could take you off in an emergency.
There's not ferries, but there's Catalina Express that runs.
No, I meant in an emergency, they use the tugboats. I mean, there's tons of boats there.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about the tugboats.
Yeah.
And Solomon, you don't even work down there.
Well, I see them.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We do have tugboats down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
And you could always fish.
But how many?
Oh.
Well, San Pedro is a fishing town.
Yeah.
But how many people can you fit on a tugboat at one time? Not that many.
I mean, but the routes, it's not that far to land. They just go
and you
back
think
and
people
forth,
are
back and
gonna like in an emergency situation if the tugboats came, people are gonna be fighting trying to.
Yeah, but eventually they'd get everybody off. It's not the first time that we've had to deal with something like that.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's ever been a situation, and to my knowledge, and
In San Pedro.
yeah. So so how many generations are there of us? I think there's 5 generations. There's my great grandma, my grandma, my mom, me, my kids, and then my nephew has a son. So there's actually 6 generations. And in those generations, I don't ever remember hearing about anybody being stuck on Terminal Island
Yeah.
or not being able to get on or off.
But if it happened, number one, it would make the news. Number two, you'd have all these private boats come in to volunteer to help get people off.
And that's where we would see humanity. That we
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
people
that
would
we've
come
lost,
together.
right?
People
That
would
we
come
feel
together.
like That was the biggest thing is when the trucker overturned and we heard about it, everybody was checking on everybody. Like, where are you at? Are you safe? Are you okay? What's going on? My mom, because that's all she watches is the news. Oh my God, this blew. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not, at the time it hadn't, that I had knew it blew up yet. I was like, no, just a trucker overturned. She's like, no, it's on fire. And I was like, oh mom, like stop watching the Channel 5 news. It's, and then she sent me a picture and I was like, oh, it blew up. I was like,
Oh, I feel like I thought maybe people would be like, oh, is there going to be work? Do we still have to go to work?
I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was. My thing was, the main thing that I was worried about was when it blew up, I said,
Mhm.
oh, I hope to God that trucker wasn't in there.
Yeah.
But I guess as soon as it turned, thank God he was able to get out, so he was safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that poor guy, I don't know, or if I wonder if he knew the extent it could happen with him carrying that on his back. Like, did he even realize that that could happen if he overturned? Do they know what they're carrying?
I would think.
You would
'Cause it's
hope.
deadly. Well, they're all
Well, I mean, there weren't batteries all over the road, so it was probably packed well.
So my question is, I guess can you pull that picture back up? So I guess my
I
question
gotta find
is,
it. I gotta
oh,
find it. Go
is
ahead.
was it a bunch of batteries in that, or is it? I thought it was just one big battery. I assumed it was like one big battery going to like a big company for something.
It says big rig with lithium batteries flips incentive.
Oh,
as
okay,
far as
so it
batteries
had-
plural.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
Probably like for Teslas or electric vehicles.
Oh yay! Let's keep driving them.
Okay, so you don't agree with going electric as far as the cars.
No, and I've always had this dream because of my grandpa from Mexico of buying an old Ford truck,
Mhm.
and I always say I'm going to do it, and I haven't.
Oh, that's why you want my dad's truck.
Yes, that's why I want your dad's truck.
Okay.
Just so you know, you're not selling it to anyone but me. So, but now more so, I want an old truck because it goes.
But
off
you
gas.
can't drive that truck over the bridge back and forth. and
Hey,
back and
those old
forth.
Ford trucks, you don't know what they could do.
Okay, so you don't like electric cars.
Well, the
No.
biggest thing about those trucks is that they're not electronic. They don't rely on electronics for braking,
Mm.
all that stuff. It's all mechanical.
And
which
you can't
means
track me.
if there's an EMP, those are the only ones that are still going to be running.
Yeah.
Do you like electric cars, Solomon?
No, I don't. I don't necessarily agree with the whole idea of going electric, just because I don't think we have right now. We don't have the infrastructure to support it.
Yep.
Mm.
I
So
agree.
we just there aren't enough charging stations. They don't know what's going to happen. Like, this is all new, right?
Yeah.
We haven't had a ton of cars where the batteries have, gone past their life. What are we doing with all those batteries? How do you dispose of that?
Look at that.
That hasn't become an issue yet.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that's going to look like, right?
And I
So-
wonder if the politicians are looking at this because it made the news, right? Everybody knew about it and saying, okay, maybe we don't go all electric now. Maybe we figure something out because that's a 20-foot container, 20-foot size container. And that burned for, I think, well, they dragged it out of there eventually so that everybody could go to work and it was still burning. So for almost 2 days. So that to me,
Yeah, and that's stuff they're gonna like let it burn too.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it's putting in the air. You don't know, so many unknowns there.
yeah, and look at that. It's on fire. And I was waiting for it to just like fully, the whole thing catch fire.
Like
Yeah.
the movies.
Yeah. And that's what I kept saying. I was like, why is just that one little piece, and everybody was like, can you smell it? Can you smell it? And from my house, I couldn't smell anything. So, and I'm glad I couldn't smell anything. I didn't want to smell anything. But the fire department and all them, they did a great job because I even thought, oh, they're being exaggerating a little bit because where it happened, they blocked it off all the way to the Vincent Thomas Bridge. But they did a great job with making sure that, whatever we need to make sure nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
But getting people home off of Terminal Island, some people didn't get home till 8:00 at night.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, they got off work at 5 because people were still working.
Imagine
and then-
you need the bathroom.
Oh, people were still working till 5, but then from 5 to 8, there was people that were stuck there in traffic trying to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and a lot of it is because people are probably thinking like, oh, well, how many people work there? Well, it's these truckers. You have these
Mhm.
truckers that are trying to also come off. And if you've never been on a bridge or trying to get on or off a bridge with a trucker, it's like playing Frogger sometimes. Thank God there's less accidents than I could imagine. So, and my thing is, are we prepared? Are you prepared? Like if I was to ask you what's in your trunk, what what does Mike take to work in his car? What does he have if he was ever to get stuck at work?
What's Oh, you want to know what's in my trunk?
Yeah.
Extra pair of flip flops.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Extra slippers, wipes, diapers.
One blanket.
One blanket.
I have blankets.
Yeah, a blanket, a pillow,
But you have a pillow?
a little, a pillow.
Are you sleeping there?
No, no.
Oh, she said no.
It's for the babies.
Oh, okay.
I don't leave water in my car like that anymore because I thought it wasn't good to.
So it's not. And one of the guys at work said, he goes, I have water in my trunk and it's not, it's for just emergency.
Okay.
And at that point, I don't care how bad the water is, I'm
Right.
going to drink the
Of
water.
course.
Okay.
So that's not water he uses to drink. But
if it's an emergency.
but he switches it out too every few months, he says.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's like a good idea to have at least a 12 pack or something in there, I have a pair of steel toes in there because of work. So I have like work stuff. Always have an extra pair of pants, a sweater, but nothing out of clothes or necessity.
A first aid kit.
I don't have that.
But your car didn't come with one?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Because I feel like newer cars, my car came with one.
Depends on how much you pay for.
Yeah, right. I just got a little Kia.
I know, but it's a newer car.
No,
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
And the crazy part is living in San Pedro and driving that bridge every day. You ever see those advertisements where you could buy it and it'll cut your seatbelt off, it'll break the window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So every time I see it, I was like, oh, I don't ever need that. What would I need it for? And now I'm like,
I mean, I have a
what
knife
what if there was an accident? You have a knife?
in my car, yeah. And my husband bought this. It looks like a screwdriver, but it has different tools on it.
Can you stab somebody with it?
You can stab somebody with anything. A chopstick.
I forgot you.
I'm
went to
not
prison.
gonna.
So it's a multi-tool.
Remember, she's the one that likes mayonnaise. She's been to prison.
No.
I'm surprised when you asked her what she had in her trunk, she didn't say
I have
rope and wire tie.
Yeah.
I have tapatio.
I heard today she's a little bit of a thug, so
Ask her what she texted me this morning.
So I was at work the other night. So we're all from San Pedro, and half my family's from Wilmington. I love Wilmington. Friends are from Wilmington, so it's a big joke. However,
What's a joke?
I was at work the other night, and someone was like, we were talking about Trina, and they go, "Oh yeah, you didn't know that your friend's from Wilmington, her and her family." And I was like, "Oh, say it's not true." No, she's not. She's a Pedro girl. They said, "Oh no, she's from Wemas," and I was like, "Oh, wait till I wake up and text her and let her know that is." Oh no, I was mortified. So I woke up this morning and I texted her and my friend, and I was like, "Guess what I heard at work last night?"
I literally was thinking to myself, wait, she was at work last night. Like, why would she be talking about me?
I was like, "I heard Trina's from Wilmington." And she's like, "No, I'm not.
Well, first of all, I'm not a gang member. So I'm not from anywhere.
I'm from Pedro and I'm not a gang
I've
member."
always lived in Pedro. My family is from Wilmington and I grew up there. But
It's okay. We still love you.
yeah, no, I love me too.
We're still, we're just,
My heart is in San Pedro, but my family, which is my heart, is in Wilmington too.
half our family's in
But she
Wilmington.
just thought it was hilarious.
I did, because I was like, wait, she's never shared this with me in all the years that I've known her.
She was doubting me real bad.
I
And I
was.
almost fell off the treadmill.
Pedro girl for life. So I'm going to say. No, but we do. I mean, our hall's in Wilmington. I love Wilmington. So all jokes aside, it was just really funny. And the girl that was telling me, our friend, is from Wilmington. So she got great pleasure in breaking my heart and telling me you're from Wilmington.
Shout out to Kat.
Yeah, but so with all that being said, between the hurricane and this, it really now I'm gonna go redesign my trunk. I do want to buy the thing where I could cut my seatbelt, break my window. I want to put water in my trunk. But then I thought, because we would probably have an earthquake before a hurricane, and I was like, that's even a little bit more scared. Are we prepared?
Well, or a tsunami. Within a break.
I know, but I didn't even want to go there. That's
Yeah,
that's
tsunami is
really scary.
Not much you can do about
No,
that.
we're gone. We're goners.
Yeah, you just get in your.
Well, if it's my time, it's my time. Take me.
Okay, well, I think our time's up on that. You're just gonna go float away in a tsunami and say, "Lord, take."
No, I'm just saying, just in general. If it's my time, it's my time.
Would you
however
rather
it's gonna
go
be.
in a earthquake
Neither.
or a tsunami? No, you have to pick.
Who says?
Solomon, would you rather go an earthquake or a tsunami?
Oh,
I think an earthquake.
Well,
tsunami would be faster.
Yeah, but the ocean scares me. I'm terrified of the
Yeah, but an earthquake, you'll
how
fall
could you
into
be
a
afraid
crack
of the
and
ocean? You
fall
live
forever.
by the ocean.
So my sister's dad, my dad, was a merchant marine, and he would go out to sea. My sisters talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
and so coming back, he would tell my brother these stories, like oh, I was out at the ocean, and well, one time he came back with like a broken hand, a broken arm, something I don't remember, and he was telling my brother the story about how the big shark came and the big wave came, and well, I'm like probably under 5 as he's telling you the story.
Okay.
And it just scared the hell out of me.
So that's why you're scared.
I'm petrified of the
Your
ocean.
trauma. It's
Oh,
trauma.
traumatizing of like, yeah. No,
So you don't go to the beach?
I do go to the beach, but I
She
barely
goes to the beach.
but I don't go out. I don't go
What do you mean?
I don't go out into the water. Like I'll stick I have gone out into the water. I've even surfed, so I shouldn't say it, but I don't go out far because I know how to swim. I'm
Did
a
you
good
think
swimmer.
there's a shark in there? I mean, there probably is.
It's not even the shark that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of like a humongous wave, like a tsunami just coming in. I can't breathe.
So you choose earthquake.
Yes.
So you'd go to like Mother's Beach and
Oh, yeah.
because it's an inland thing.
Yeah.
right?
Where's that at? I've never been there.
Well,
Belmont Shores.
yeah.
Mm.
You keep putting that thing right in your chin.
Oh, do I? Because we're not used to sitting here.
Yeah.
Like-
No, I mean like bring it out in front of you. That's
All right. Well, let's just hash back real quick. Justice for Genie. Please, 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 please. We are in California, but we need people from Chicago to Texas to Oklahoma to everywhere to please spread the word. Post her picture, post Jonathan's picture. He is just a person of interest, but we always know how that goes. We're praying and hoping that she's alive. Her mom does have a Facebook page, Justice for Genie. Any information, the littlest bit that you think could help, please inbox her. She has also listed her number on there, which is very brave because you could have 1 million people just calling you out of nowhere.
she probably does.
I'm sure. Yeah. And 2, make sure you get a survival pack for a tsunami, a hurricane, an earthquake, an act of God. I don't know, something, anything, an explosion. But make sure you have something in your trunk at all times. I think that's
You should
everything.
Just make some and then sell them on Amazon.
Well, here, let's take a look since we're recommending these to people. Might as well put
Oh.
it on the screen here.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a whole lot. Oh, I didn't even think about a shovel.
Yeah, look at
A
this.
shovel.
What would you need a shovel for? We're not
To bury
burying
me.
somebody.
If you gotta dig out
Same.
something from snow.
Oh.
See, you gotta
Christmas
also
is coming
remember
up.
it's not necessarily just about you, as if you have to help someone else.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's the next thing. If God forbid something happened, like who's the first person you go for?
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of sad to think that people become very or will become very, they're either going to want to help you or they're going to turn their backs because they're just protecting themselves and
yeah.
their people.
Yeah. I'm just looking at this going, what's the difference between the $25 and the $89? It's like,
Oh.
it just has more stuff.
Well, and this is the next thing is if you have all this and you have it in your house, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's say there's an earthquake. What if where you have everything gets buried? So now you don't even have use to it, right?
Now you got to buy 2.
Have them in 2 different parts
Yeah.
of the house.
Yeah.
That is just
That's like those
crazy.
people who built those bunkers
Mhm.
and something happens. Like, what if you're across the country at that point?
Yeah.
So when all this is happening, Seth's in Idaho and we're here, well, just a mother's, perspective, what if a natural disaster happens here? How fast am I going to try to get there or vice versa?
You think
If
you're going to
something
try to
goes-
get over there?
No, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be able to, I'm sure. I'm sure 1 million people will be trying to,
Right.
right? But as a mother, you want to get there,
Yeah.
right? And vice versa. If something happened here, he's going to try to get here to make sure we're all okay, right?
Yeah.
Like I've never really thought about that until now. Like when Loran was in Iowa and they had floods over there.
Mm.
But I was younger. I think I was more not as worried as I am now, Didn't even think about it. Oh, you're good, Loran. You're in Iowa. Like, call me. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
She's like, it's flooding. Now that I'm older and now that this happened on Turnbull Island and now I'm like, oh.
Close to home.
Yes. Now I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, what if something major does? And then we've had a few earthquakes lately.
Yeah.
Whew, we were at work the other day at my desk and I was like, and the first one happened and I was talking to my old partner, Gina, and she just ignored it. The second one happened and I'm looking at her and she just keeps talking like it's not happening. And then the third one was just like, bam, I said, see, you kept ignoring it, so it needed to get your attention. She goes, I was hoping it was going to stop or go away. The whole building shook. And I was like, you know what,
What
Lord?
floor were you on?
The second floor. And I was like, oh, I'm not ready for that one. Like you could.
How many floors are there?
3. 3 or 4? 3. I believe there's 3 floors.
I'd want to be on the top.
And then I didn't even think about that. So you could fall on top of everybody.
Well, I don't want to smash
don't
anyone,
need-
but
You don't want to be the one getting smashed.
if it's my husband.
You would smash your husband?
I said,
I think she's using the term a little differently.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like, Trina, you don't like my. These are kind of scary. These Halloween eyeballs. Yeah, I was trying to be harvest. All right. Well, thank you so much, and until next time, we will see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.